I'm Bruce Blitz, and welcome to Cartooning with Blitz. Now, did you ever hear the expression, it takes all kinds to make up this world? Well, that's true. But it also takes all kinds to make up a comic book world. And that means the supporting cast of characters, not just the superhero like I was just working on here. And that's what we'll be doing today, drawing the supporting cast of characters. And in many ways, they're a little more interesting than the superhero. You'll see. For our feature of the day, we'll be spinning the wheel of features, and some friends will be stopping by because that's a lot of fun. And for our doodle trick portion, number tunes, finished cartoons from numbers. But first, I'd like to get started with a pun and a definition, just to get things started, you know. And they both deal with food. And the first one will be a pun. Now, you tell me what you think this is. Get it? It's a peanut butter. Budding. Okay, next one. Okay, next one is the definition of what a postman does. Delivers. Oh boy. That is one of my favorites. Okay. Oh, yours too. Okay, good. I'm glad to hear that. All right, let's start our first drawing now, and it'll be of a supporting cast. And it'll be a woman who's in college. And I'll tell you a little bit more about that in a second. First, we're going to start by putting a big shape in like this for her hair. Now, when you draw these characters, you want to come up with a whole little story that goes with them. Now, here's her forehead and here's her cheek. Sometimes you make up the story before you start drawing them, or it could happen after you draw them, and then you look at them, see how it came out, and say, she looks like she could be doing this, or she could be in college, or she could be working here, so that's what you do. Now, in this case, I've already kind of worked this out. Let's see, give her eyes like this, and eyebrows down like she's thinking. Here's her nose, and here's her lips. Now, she could be a college student, very, very smart, and she works part-time to get herself through college, and she's working towards a degree in criminology. That's right, because in a comic book, that comes in pretty handy, huh? And she's very good at computers. She's a computer whiz, and she's been known to help the hero crack the code with her computer skills. And who knows, maybe in one of the stories that you write, she could become a superhero herself. Maybe she gets zapped with cosmic rays or something, and she develops these special powers. And that's the fun part about making a comic book. You can come up with all these different ways. Now, I'm going to darken in her upper lip to create like a shadow, like the light is hitting from above. Put a little color into this. The supporting cast of characters are what you need. And as I said, you can do it before you draw them or after you draw them. Come up with a little story for them. All right. All right, now let's do another one. Now, what story wouldn't be complete without the ever-present grumpy police chief or commissioner? And we'll draw that one right now. We'll start with a shape. Now, he's going to be a full-face type guy. Put his ear over here. And let's make some guidelines. Now, guidelines really help you. They do work. They help to tell you which way the head is turning or facing. And we're going to give him a bumpy nose. Like that. And his expression, well, you know what? He's always scowling. He's got a lot of lines on him from all the worry. And he's very grumpy. And he's always deep in thought. Maybe he's looking off this way, trying to figure something out. He's always grumpy, but he's got a very good heart in every story. You know, he works with the youth in the neighborhood, only sometimes he doesn't want that known because he likes his persona as being like tough. And see his gray hair on the side here? He's earned every one of them. He's proud of it, he says. Now, he's a widower, and, you know, he's maybe a little bit grumpy from that and a little bit bitter that, you know, that happened in his life. You know, he's got a definite hard past. But he's a great guy when the chips are down, and you notice even here, it's got a full chin. He cares, and that's the main thing. About what? I don't know, but no, he cares. And these lines here indicate that he needs a shave. And why does he need a shave? Because he's always working overtime to crack the case. A very important character. In his tie, well, it's always loosened. Let's put a tie in just like that. All right. A great character. And now, let's draw another character. Now, we're going to draw a villain. Now, it's going to be a woman villain. And we'll start with a shape like a keystone. Let's call it a keystone. Almost like a stop sign without the top part. And now we're going to put in her nose. Now, for her nose, and we're going to put it down low, we don't need much. Just a little line like that. Really what that indicates is when your nose, you know, it protrudes out of your face like this, and when light hits it, it just really creates a little shadowing right there. And you don't have to draw the whole line the whole time, so just draw this, and that's enough. Now, for her mouth, well, let's see, we'll give her a full cheek like this, and we're going to give her a smile, but a little bit on the crooked side. And she's smiling here, but when you put the eyes in, which we're going to do right now, it's going to make her expression appear to be evil or sneaky. And we'll have her peeking off this way. Now remember, the eye is inside the eyelid. See how that fits in there? You don't just draw a circle. And you can put a line underneath, just don't connect all the lines necessarily. And you can make that line a little heavier on top because that's the eyelash line. Now for her expression, that's going to be made with the eyebrows. See how that comes down, how that works? This one here we're going to make the same way, only a little more arced. You can vary them, because people's faces aren't exactly the same on both sides anyway. All right, now she's shaping up well. Now we can put some cheekbones in like this, and we can define that shape that we started with a little bit. Yeah, she's coming out good. Now, she can be a superhero, put a headband in her, like a good guy, or she could be the villain. It really doesn't matter. But you need villains, and you want to vary them a little bit. Now, I'm going to put a mask on her. See, just because she has this expression, she doesn't have to be a villain, but... And all you do to put a mask on is just put it right over what you've already drawn. You don't have to, like, actually create a mask. Now, if you were using color, you might want to put color in there. Now, for the hair, watch this. I want to give her a real fluffy, spiky hair. Coming around like this. And here's her neck, and big earrings. And some definition in there. And a little bit of shadowing underneath her chin. This is the sort of thing you see in comic book art. Heavy shadows to make things come alive a little bit. All right. All right, let's do another type. Now, let's draw an evil guy, but this isn't an evil guy like necessarily a villain, you know, with special powers or something. He's just someone you'd see in a supporting cast role, like maybe just as a walk-on. Or you could build a whole story around him, but we're going to draw a miserly type. He could be an evil landlord or a nasty banker, and he would have a bumpy, pointy needle nose type, like that. Yeah, and his lips, they're always pursed like that, like something tastes bad. And he's got beady eyes. He's not nice, folks. I'm just telling you that right now. And here's his forehead, some lines on there. And let's see, his ears. And some hair on the side, nothing on top. In fact, we'll darken that line a little bit. And for his chin, well, he gets a long, pointy chin. He could work in the bank, and he wouldn't give a loan to his own mother. He's just not nice. He's just plain nasty. You know that? But he's a great character, and you could cast him as a walk-on, or he could be a major bad guy, and you could build a whole story around him. You know, he could be a major villain. All right, now, let's talk a little bit about composition. Now, composition is how you tell your story. It's also referred to as design and layout. But what it is, it's how to keep your reader interested. Because remember, this is pictures that are telling a story as well as the words. If you don't use the pictures, you've got a novel and nothing more. Okay, so now we're going to have a dramatic scene here, and we're going to have a woman who is looking behind her over her shoulder up at a villain, a monster actually, and we're going to have her looking up this way. And don't forget, those guidelines really help. See how that tells you that she's looking that way. Put her nose in and her screaming mouth. Now look at that. We have her lips like that, and a bottom lip also bent like that. Because when you curve it like that, it gives it a little more drama, a little more action. Now her eyes, well, her eyes are wide open. She's looking that way. You see the white all the way around it. See how that works? And her eyebrows way up. And some red on her cheeks, even though we're working with black and white. We can indicate that. Okay, now, her arms are facing this way. She's running this way. And her hair. Well, her hair is even flying all over the place because she's running. And here's some earrings, and here's her jaw and her neck. Oh, she's scared to death. Now, let's draw what she's scared of. And up here, we're going to make a squarish shape. Now, he's being seen in perspective. He's very tall, so he gets smaller as you get to the top. Some teeth, some eyes, and eyebrows down. Yes, it's Toaster Head Man. And that's the fun part about making your own comic strip. You make up everything. Now, over there, it's going to be his giant hand about to grab her. And that's why it's so much larger than his head. And here's his waist, and here's his legs, and his other arm is almost off the panel. And that's the kind of thing you want to do, because it looks like you can even have drawn it outside the panel and would have given a little bit more of an effect. Okay, give him some 3 dimension there. All right, some lines like this indicate maybe he's made of a metallic material. And some cartoon effects. And there she is. Pretty cool, huh? All right, let's do another one. And this time, we're going to draw a bad guy, but not the kind of bad guy that you might expect. You know, not the kind that has big muscles like the hero, only he uses them for evil. This kind of bad guy is the brainy kind of bad guy. And we're going to have the composition where it's going to be a close-up, and he's going to be facing us right here in the panel, like that. Okay, now, let's draw his eyes first. I think I want to start with his eyes. His eyebrows are down. Ha. And his forehead, well, he's a real smart guy, so he gets a big forehead because he's got to house all those brains. And some fluffy hair like that, and some ears on the side. And you know, drawing anatomy is something that's very important when you're doing comic book art, because you have to have a working knowledge of what the human figure looks like. You can't make these totally unrealistic proportions like you do in what's called Bigfoot cartooning or bubble nose cartooning. You know, they're really silly kind of characters, the kind of people who don't actually live. But these people have somewhat realistic proportions, don't they? When I went to college, I took an anatomy course, and we had a test where we had to draw the torso, the muscles of the torso. And I got to tell you, I didn't do very well. They handed out the papers, and I filled it out as best I could, and we got the test back about a week later, and I didn't get a very good mark. And he wrote, very imaginative. I thought that was pretty good, actually. I mean, to be imaginative. But that wasn't good, actually, no. Now we're going to draw the background here. And it can be a building. Then he had some question marks, like pointing to some of the abdominal muscles that I drew. I don't know. It just got worse and worse, friends. Here's the pavement. And this could be City Hall. And this frame could mean that, like, he's thinking something like, the time is now. And he's going to do something bad to the people in City Hall or the city or whatever. And this panel says something. Now let's use a little bit of color. But you've got to think visually when you're working with the comic book art. And that's really a lot of fun. And getting people interested in a story that you've told. Hey, what could be better? Let's use some gray for his hair. And of course you have to make it always that the good guy triumphs over evil. And why? Well, good is better than evil because it's nicer. That's right, because it's nicer. All right, now we're going to put some blue here for the sidewalk. And maybe some yellow for the background. Let's see. There you go. All right. You take a look at this guy here, and I'll play a little menacing music, okay? Well, that's all the time we have for today, and I hope you've enjoyed it. And a good way to practice drawing a supporting cast of characters is just to simply be alert and aware of all the people that you see every day in your daily travels. And you look at them and you say, that person there, that could be a good one for the banker or for the college student, and make a whole little story up around them. Now, when I was a little guy, my sister Adrienne used to make fun of me all the time and tease me, and she still does, all in good fun, about all the comic book heroes and comic books I used to make when I was a little guy, and I stapled them together, and they were all over the house. And I'm telling you this because the truth of the matter is they weren't all that great, looking back, although I was having a lot of fun. And if your work doesn't quite come up to what you see here and you're a little upset about that, or maybe your favorite comic book, well, don't feel that way, because anything that you stick at long enough, you will get better at. I guarantee it. Like music, schoolwork, artwork, or even sports. I believe in you. Now, don't put your pens and pencils down yet. Stay tuned for the feature of the day. All right, now today we are going to spin the Wheel of Features. And Wheel of Features is great fun because you never know what kind of face you're going to come up with. And some friends stop by. Hi, guys. How are you?
Good.
Okay, they're going to help me out with this. Now, the Wheel of Features has facial outlines, eyes, nose, and mouths. And what we do is we spin this wheel and we see what we're going to get. Now, Valerie, will you help me spin the outer wheel? And I'll spin this one, and this one. And whatever comes into this area, that's the face we're going to draw. Okay, we've got a big smile. And we've got kind of sleepy eyes, and we have that woman over there with a flower in her hair. That's going to be a great face. Okay, ready? I'll start with her flower. All right, now for her hair. Well, big stroke like that, right there, and some hair in the middle. All right, now she looks like she has bangs. And coming around the other side, and she has a big full outline, which is good because we'll be able to put the features in there. And some hair coming out there, and her neck. All right, now who's going to help me draw? Well, first let me draw the eyes. That's it. I'll draw the eyes first. Okay, now she looks sleepy. And her eyebrows are up. All right, for the nose. Jasmine, how about you? Come on up here. Got it, girl. You draw that nose. Perfect. It's like a square, isn't it? Great job. Okay, she's coming across very well. How about you, son? Come on up here and draw the mouth. Okay, now she's happy, isn't she? Good girl. Good. And let's see. Looks like her teeth are showing. And her tongue. Very good. Now darken all that part in. Because that's inside and it's dark. Inside here. And girl. All the way around. Pull that side too. Perfect. All right. She looks great. Thank you. Okay, now, you know what? We'll put a little color into this. This was a group effort. I like this. Right over the features like that, and a little bit of rosy cheeks. We'll give her. How's that? You know what? While we're at it, let's color her hair in. She's got this flaming red hair, which I like.
Can we do a flower?
Her flower. What color's the flower?
Red.
Red. You got it. And she came out to be a great face. Thanks a lot, guys. A group effort. I like this. Now, stay tuned for cartoon doodle tricks. Thanks a lot, guys. That was great. Welcome. Today's doodle tricks are number tunes. And some friends stopped by because they love number tunes. Hi, guys. How are you?
Good.
All right. Our first number will be a request. How about you, John? 6? So you got it. Okay, these are going to be a couple quickies. Okay, now that's 6. Let's see. Okay, I got something. Smile there. And some lips and some eyes. And we've got a cute fish. Like that one? Some scales. And some water. How's that? And some bubbles. Yeah, I like that one. Okay. I need another number. Valerie.
3.
3. All right. Another quickie. Here's the 3. All right. Got it. Connect this around to here. And some detail there and a smile. And what is it? It's the moon. Sleeping. All right. Now I got another number tune for you. All right. This is a story that goes, once upon a time, there was a woman who worked from 9 to 5. And she worked as a school teacher. And of course, school gets out at 3 o'clock, but she stayed till 5 to prepare for the next day. And she worked there for a long time, and she was 66 years old, and she worked at the school for 23 years. And she had 8 more months to retire because she had 4 grandchildren that she wanted to spend a lot of time with. So let's see what we can do with this. Put some detail there, some lines. And she was a very, very well-liked teacher. And she was, you might be able to guess here, a math teacher. And here she is right now. I'd like to introduce her to you, Mrs. Adams. Now, that's Adams as in add. Adams, the math teacher. Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah!
One of my favorites. And that's all the time we have for today, and I hope you've enjoyed it at home and you guys here in the studio. And for our tip of the day, if you can think it, you can draw it. In other words, your imagination is working. So, listen to it. I'm Brusa Blica saying thanks for being with me, and help me out, everybody. Keep on cartooning.
cartooning.
Right.